So many horrific accusations, though, involving young singers, like children.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's insane.
He makes R. Kelly look like a decent guy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It is crazy.
You know, Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, you know, he could buy you one also while you're out.
He got me a Lamborghini.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television. What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh?
No,
You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right, okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
It's 5.
You know, Justin Bieber had a post the other day on his Instagram talking about all the drugs that he did when he was younger and how much it f***ed him up. And now he's got a relationship with the Lord, and he's got, he's married, and he's trying to be a normal person.
Yeah.
But he's struggling with the fact that he was insanely famous when he was a kid.
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So
they wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like, what kind of fucking asshole do you gotta be to take another boy, another talented boy, and put him in your place so it ain't gotta be you no more? Because that's what pedophiles do. They get victims, and then once they get to a certain age and they get too old for them to enjoy them, they send them out to go get other young kids. Now, if Usher is a procurer, and if Usher knew what was gonna happen to any of those young children that he took to the Flavor Freak off, is he a good guy? Especially considering what happened to him, especially considering that he sat Howard Stern, and Howard Stern said, would you send your kids to Puffy's Flavor Camp? And his immediate response was, hell no! So it's good enough for everybody else's kids, but it's not good enough for yours.
Joe Rogan has tackled everything from politics to pop culture, but what unraveled in his latest podcast left even him visibly shaken. It wasn't just another celebrity drama. It was the collapse of a carefully crafted empire. And at the center of it all, Sean Diddy Combs, who now finds himself facing the fallout from Justin Bieber's unexpected and deeply personal revelation. Justin Bieber recently opened up in a vulnerable post, reflecting on his chaotic upbringing in the spotlight. He spoke candidly about the toll fame took on his mental health, how material success meant nothing while he was internally struggling, and how he's trying to rebuild his life through faith and personal growth. But beneath the emotional confession was something far more explosive, a story involving Diddy, buried for years, now brought to light. According to Bieber, there was a brief but unsettling moment in his early career when he was placed under Diddy's temporary supervision. The arrangement, which reportedly lasted just 48 hours, had been approved by his management team and orchestrated through his then mentor, Usher. On paper, it looked like mentorship. In hindsight, it raised serious questions. Why was a teenage pop star being handed over, even temporarily, to an industry giant known for his secretive, high-profile gatherings? That's the question Joe Rogan couldn't stop asking. As soon as he saw the footage that Bieber leaked, surveillance video from inside one of Diddy's infamous events, he knew this wasn't just a celebrity slip-up. This was bigger, much bigger. This is not about a party, Rogan declared. This is about power, control, and secrecy. In the footage, Rogan noted how staff seemed to operate with military-level precision. Everything was timed, doors opened and closed like clockwork, red lights flickered in rhythm, staff used strange codes like heartbeat reset, and through it all, celebrities were escorted through tight hallways under constant watch. It didn't look like entertainment, it looked like a controlled environment with rules, roles, and boundaries that were never meant to be seen by the public. Rogan was furious. "This isn't VIP access," he said. "This is structure. This is manipulation." The footage had surfaced at a time when Diddy's legal troubles were already under the microscope, but now the internet was watching too, and Rogan made sure no one could look away. He played the clip on his show, paused to analyze key moments, and read viewer messages from people who had worked behind the scenes. Former staffers, victims, and whistleblowers flooded his inbox saying, "Finally, someone's telling the truth." Joe didn't stop there. He went down the list of A-list figures who had once praised or partnered with Diddy, Jay-Z, DJ Khaled, Usher, and asked the tough question, "You were there. Why didn't you say anything?" For Rogan, the silence was just as damning as the footage. "If you're protecting someone who's clearly got something to hide," he said, "you're part of the problem." Then came the bombshell. Rogan began reading from legal filings that tied Bieber's video to other pieces of hard evidence. Courtroom documents linked the footage to building logs, digital timestamps, and even surveillance system overrides. "This isn't a rumor," Rogan said. "This is a blueprint, and Bieber handed it over when he didn't have to." Rogan praised Bieber for doing what so many others wouldn't. He could have ignored the past. He said he could have stayed silent and moved on with his life, but he chose to speak up. That takes guts. As Rogan explained, Bieber didn't just bring evidence, he brought credibility, and in doing so, he triggered a chain reaction that Diddy's team couldn't stop. Sponsors began pulling out, Diddy's camp went silent, and Rogan's podcast skyrocketed to the top of trending lists across every major platform. Suddenly, this wasn't about one man, it was about a system that allowed power to operate in the shadows for far too long. A system that had finally been cracked open. By the end of the episode, Rogan left his audience with one last message. Diddy spent years controlling the story, but now the story is out, and it's not his to rewrite. With video evidence, public support, and voices like Rogan's refusing to stay silent, Diddy's reputation isn't just damaged, it's unraveling.